Hello, lovely to be here with you. My name is Kate Hunter. I work at RIBA as Project Manager on Future Architects. I'm really delighted to be with you all on behalf of RIBA, the Royal Institute of British Architects. It's great to be able to talk to you today about your next steps in your education, and I'll be able to share with you all the varied support that you can receive from RIBA, depending on how you are continuing in your career. So to recap, the RIBA is a global professional membership body that represents architects and advocates for architecture. Membership to RIBA provides you with invaluable support and resources to help you develop towards becoming a fully qualified architect, and it is about connecting to that huge community of architects that we represent globally. Many of you will already be RIBA student members, but if you've completed your Part 2, you will now also be eligible to become an associate member, and you'll be joining a network of over 10,000 individuals worldwide. If you're based overseas at the moment and studying remotely, you can also enjoy the benefits of membership regardless of your location. And as part of your membership, you will have access to the RIBA Future Architects programme. This is our community for students and emerging professionals designed to support, inspire and provide a voice as you transition from study into practice. You'll find events, activities and opportunities as you progress from Part 1, Part 2, Part 3 and on into qualification, and all of that offer can be accessed in one place via the Future Architects hub page on architecture.com and by following us on Instagram at Riba Education. So as you're on the verge of completing your Part 2, I can introduce you to this new category of membership, which is RIBA Associate Membership. You've worked really hard for your Part 2 or EU equivalent, and now you're eligible to become an associate member. RIBA campaigns really hard to protect you and your profession. By joining us, you can help us do so much more. Some of the key benefits of this membership category are support with ongoing skills development. So associate members get up to 50% discount off the cost of RIBA CPD. That's continued professional development. It covers a wide range of topics, fire safety, ethics, law, marketing, finance, legislation, building regulations, GDPR, that sort of thing. So some great topics to sort of delve into as you become more involved in practice. Associate members also receive the RIBA journal in print and digital. The journal kind of covers all the big issues, loads of in-depth content there and plenty of analysis, and access to all sorts of exclusive lifestyle, retail and leisure offers as well through your membership there. Discount on RIBA events. So to join, all you do is download and complete the application form from architecture.com. The subscription charges for associate membership start at £62 for a full year if you're based in the UK and £52 if you're based internationally. Whether you're studying or working from home or living and working in another city, you can get in touch with your regional office or follow them on social media and stay connected with your local architecture community. For those of you who may now be seeking Part 2 practical experience, you can use RIBA Jobs. This is our jobs portal, and you can find out who is recruiting and source jobs that people are advertising on that website. We list around 1,000 jobs a year, including Part 1, 2 and 3 positions, and over half of the jobs advertised here are with chartered practices who follow the RIBA Code of Conduct, so you know that they've really high professional standards, especially on issues of inclusion, fair pay and ethics. If you visit Riba Jobs through architecture.com, you can sign up for jobs by email, just set your preferences, and then we email you the jobs that match your search criteria. We'd also recommend, looking at Dezeen, LinkedIn and Instagram for job seeking as well. There's lots of advice for graduating job seekers on the Future Architects hub page that we mentioned before. So if you need more information on, setting up your CV or your portfolio, great place to kind of have a look at that content and get some information there. So do visit that webpage. Also want to introduce you to a new framework of support for students that RIBA is trialling this summer, and it's called the Compact. So what the Compact is it's a framework that brings together students, practices and schools of architecture with RIBA to enhance the student experience specifically in the workplace. Basically, RIBA's aiming to address the challenges for students transitioning from academia and education into the workplace, and we want to promote best practice for the future benefit of the profession. So the compact sort of draws on a series of obligations in the form of an ethical framework, which all of the parties must meet, and committing to them on with a level of mutual responsibility to improve the practical experience outcomes. So we're going to trial this over the summer period this year. So if you are seeking a job in practice or you're already working as an architectural assistant, we are looking for students to take part in the trial of the compact and to help us shape that framework for the full rollout in 2022. So if you want to get involved and help support the current and future generation of architects, just express your interest to our RIBA education team by dropping them an email on contact@riba.org. It's a great thing to be involved in this summer. Also, the RIBA is formed by members, and the RIBA Council is elected by members and acts as the representative body for the membership. It's composed of around 45 members and chaired by the RIBA president. The council meets 4 times annually, and it's responsible for collecting insight from the profession to guide the strategic direction of the organisation, that sort of thing. So the council members provide support and leadership for RIBA members. They lobby on important issues, and it's the role of council members to be a sounding board for new initiatives, to debate the path of architecture and architects, and proactively discuss equipping the industry for the future. So there's currently an open seat on the RIBA Council for an associate member rep. So this will be for a Part 2 student. So if you know anyone that might be interested, then please consider this opportunity or do share that opportunity. You must be an associate member to be eligible to become the representative on council, and you have to put forward a manifesto and you have to be nominated, and then elections take place and all the current associate members within the membership can vote for their preferred candidates. So it's a great way to engage with RIBA, to represent your community on the issues that matter to future architects, and really be part of driving change and supporting RIBA in their work across the profession. Okay, so moving on, here we have just a bit of a shout out for PEDR. I'm sure you'll all be quite familiar with this professional experience development record. So for those of you who are maybe moving into a Part 2 role, you'll start to become really familiar with this. PEDR helps you track and record your practical experience in architecture, and the way that you do this is via the RIBA PEDR portal. PEDR is a digital record of a student's experience, development and competency in the practice of architecture. So your PEDR allows you to log your periods in practice. You typically list these as quarterly record sheets, and it helps you to prepare for your future Part 3 documentary submission. And it's really important because to register as an architect in the UK, there's a mandatory requirement to have completed a minimum of 24 months professional practical experience alongside gaining the typical Part 1, 2 and 3 qualifications. So if you're not already familiar with this, do check out PEDR portal. And just a little word on maybe standards in employment. We would always encourage future architects to seek employment and experience with an RIBA chartered practice. This is because you know that the practice is bound to uphold the RIBA Code of Conduct and Code of Practice, and there are certain obligations that a chartered practice has to achieve to hold that status. So it's things like an employment policy, health and safety policy, environmental policy, and equality, diversity, inclusion policy. So those things are expected of chartered practices. If your experience is not as you would like with a chartered practice, then you can report that to RIBA through our professional standards team. So just something to be aware of there. And also it's a great thing to talk about if you're interviewing for roles, ask them about their chartered practice status. RIBA has an inclusion charter. It's worth asking that practice, have you joined up, signed up to the inclusion charter? And we have the 2030 climate challenge as well, which is all about meeting net zero targets in terms of climate action. So these are great things just to kind of, if you are going for interview, to test the merit of the practice that you might be apply into. So in terms of you know your educational journey and options for you now, after you complete your part 2, you might be seeking further practical experience and employment, and at stage 2, practical experience graduates will be given more responsibility on projects, so you should expect that. At this time, you should also begin studying a part 3 course, which covers aspects of practice management and law. And as was said before, a total of 24 months experience is required in order to sit your part 3 examination. You can do your part 3 with RIBA. We offer that course, or there are other course providers which of course we validate, and you could consider doing your part 3 with one of those providers. So having gained parts 1, 2 and 3 qualifications, you can then apply to register as an architect with the Architects Registration Board, the ARB. The title of architect is protected by law, so the public can always be sure that they're dealing with a properly qualified architect, and that's how that's the register that the public would check. And once you're registered with ARB, at this point you are now fully eligible to become an RIBA chartered member in your own right, and this gives you further access to more services, more benefits, and obviously entitles you to become part of and have influence over that national and international network of architects. So as you move on in your career, there's there's lots of ways that students can become involved in RIBA and help shape the future of the sector. Hopefully we've shown a little bit of that today. And I just want to go back to the Future Architects programme, which is there to support you all the way through that long journey of educational qualification. So there's lots of things that you can get involved with. We're always looking for student-led content. Get in touch with ideas. We can upload articles, features to our hub page. We can share content on social media channels. Lots of things going on. And there is always an opportunity for any student to submit a project that they've been working on, and we'll always try and showcase that on the Instagram channel. So do consider using us as your platform. Also, we offer a wide range of events with a regular programme. We've been running meetup events, which are kind of large-scale online meetups, usually focused on one topic with a speaker panel. We run Future Architects Discuss, which is smaller workshops for students to sort of explore and learn in kind of classroom size, and design huddles, which are slightly more creative sessions, usually hosted by a student who sets a sort of a design topic, and then sketches are shared at the end. Don't forget to get involved in your local regional and branch activity. There'll be a lot of member-led activity, and that will really help you expand your local network as well. We kind of covered this under PEDR, but just to say, so CPD, which is continued professional development, and RIBA recently updated actually the mandatory competencies for architects to include things like climate literacy and fire safety. You can complete CPD on the RIBA Academy, so do have a look at that. Again, you access the Academy through architecture.com. You can access it with your membership credentials, and there you'll find loads of professional learning content. It's a mixture of free, paid for, on demand and live learning. So have a browse, keep checking back because new content is added there all the time. So you can add that to your learning mix to sort of round out the skills that you may be learning on your course and in practice. We've also got a podcast which is hosted by different groups of students, different individuals on a wide variety of topics that are relevant to students in architecture. The episodes are hosted on Spotify, so you can just search for RIBA Future Architects and head over to the link via our hub page or on our social media channels. So again, if you're interested in potentially hosting a podcast with us, do get in touch. You drop us a line and we'll always consider proposals. There's also a YouTube playlist, so on the RIBA YouTube channel, there's some really great content. We put all of our event recordings up there. There's things around job seeking, how to prepare for practice, how to prepare a CV, and also where we receive student-led video content, we share that up there as well. So check that out. There's a range of downloadable resources, again, available from the hub page, things, again, very much geared to helping people in that transition from education through to practice. And it's worth mentioning, we also offer financial support funds for Part 1, 2 and 3 students, scholarships and bursaries. There's support available for students at all stages of their educational journey. So, you know, if you or somebody you know might be experiencing financial hardship, do get in touch and we can advise on what support is available to you. And RIBA also has a long-standing relationship with the Architects Benevolent Society. It's a charity that provides mental health and wellbeing support for architects, architecture students and their families. ABS provides support for anyone that's having a problem with their mental health, and they can often fast-track support such as counselling, which can sometimes take a long time through NHS. So do consider using their services if you or someone you know is having a problem with their mental health. There is also an online bookshop called Riba Books. Again, you can find Riba Books through the main website, architecture.com. And there is for anybody in London, the bookshop actually exists in our head office in Portland Place. And as you can imagine, there's a very specific catalogue of architecture and design books, plus a range of gifts. And as ever, you know, we'd love to hear your thoughts on the programme so far. We've been running Future Architects for a couple of years now, and, you know, always looking for improvements, and, you know, needs change and the world moves forward. So if you're able to help us shape the Future Architects programme for next year, if you're interested in that, you can complete a short survey, which is out now. And there's also the opportunity to sign up to take part in one of our upcoming focus groups. So we'll pop the links out with this video so that you can join in with that. And I guess just some final things to sort of point to in terms of things that RIBA is doing that are, you know, more campaign-led, I guess, and things that Future Architects can really get involved with. So I think I mentioned it before, you know, there's a climate emergency right now, and Future Architects need to be sustainability experts. You know, the built environment is responsible for around 40% of global carbon emissions, and architects really have a role to play in reducing greenhouse gas emissions to net zero. So RIBA's developed the 2030 Climate Challenge to help architects meet net zero or better, whole life carbon for new and retrofitted buildings by 2030. What this challenge does is it sets out a series of targets for practices to adopt to reduce operational energy, embodied carbon and potable water. And if all RIBA chartered practices meet the 2030 climate challenge targets, they will be playing their part in addressing the global crisis. So with you guys just knowing about this, it's something that you can talk to people that you may be applying for jobs for, and also, you know, you can use this in your project work as well and become really familiar with it. Also, the RIBA plan of work now includes an updated section on sustainability guidance and a new guide on sustainable outcomes. So this is all on the website as well. And these materials really support our members and practices to develop and deliver, you know, clear, measurable and realistic goals that ensure their projects meet those targets in the 2030 climate challenge. So again, no reason why you guys shouldn't be aware of this and be kind of actioning this in your projects. And again, I think I mentioned earlier, the RIBA has drawn up an inclusion charter. It's been created to help break down barriers and make architecture more inclusive. And we've all got a role to play in dismantling discriminatory barriers that are preventing talented people from studying, practicing, or even appreciating architecture. The Inclusion Charter invites RIBA members to step up and demonstrate their commitment to making architecture more inclusive. And the signatories to this charter will join a new community of equity champions and role models with a shared purpose of driving change. So again, do have a look at this on architecture.com, and it's, you know, it's there, it's happening, and I'm sure there's a lot of you that will want to participate in this. So nearly finished. Just a final shout out to say, hopefully we've given you quite an insight into the support and services that RIBA continues to provide members throughout their educational studies. And as mentioned, you know, you guys, if you've completed your part 2, will be eligible to join as an associate member. So do visit the join page. The QR code there will take you straight through to the associate membership page on our website. Yeah, do consider it. Thank you so much for listening to me today. I'll just pop up the final slide, which has our contact details there. So the email is futurearchitects@riba.com. On the website, the hub page is architecture.com/futurearchitects, and we're at Riba Education on Instagram. So thank you very much. Good luck with everything in the future, and thanks very much for your time today. Take care. Bye.